Hello and welcome!
Better understand the sewing. Join me as we continue. Thank you. Just as I told you earlier in the previous video that you add seam allowance, half-inch seam allowance at all this region, and then the down part you add half-inch or 1 inch as you want. The one I added here is 1 inch, and all this part half-inch as seam allowance. Remember, this is our pattern that we cut in the previous video. And then this upper one here, I am using black material, black fabric for it. That is the upper part. As we sew, you will see the outcome of it, and then every other part. Let's see the back part. This is the back part. Yeah, you can see the same thing. I added the seam allowance up here, and then through the dart and the down part. This is the zipper allowance, the slant and the side seam allowance. Already we have added seam allowance, so I did not add any seam allowance on this. Why all the black piece you see here, they are the lining for all this. They are the lining for all this part that I've shown you, the black the back and front part. So you gum it with your desired gum, either hair stay, gum stay, or any other gum of your choice. Let's continue. So these are the ingredients we are going to use to cook our corset. This pad, you can get one depending on the size of what you want to sew. You just get one of that bust size, ready for the project. Can we continue? So I'll be starting with the back part of it. Remember, you have to understand what you have cut before sewing. This is the back part, and according to our cutting, this is the right part for this. So you drop it together and sew. You must have to understand your We are not yet through with the formation of this bust cup, and then this black part is going to come into it, and from our cutting, this is the position that the black cut is going to come. It's not going to come like this. This is the upper part. The black cut is going to be at the upper part. So just make sure you know your pattern very well. You study your pattern and you know the parts, so that you won't interchange this one coming here when it's supposed to be this other side. So let's join it. Remember, 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Be very careful when sewing this. Alright, we are through with this one, and you can see it. Oh my god, it's forming already. Let's do the same thing to this other part. The next thing we are going to do is to fix it. But before fixing it, take this measurement, because this is what is going here. So take the measurement. Okay, remember, ½ inch is going for sewing allowance. So we have this like this. Okay, it's about 10.25. So you take this measurement as well. It's still about 10.25. So what we have here is ready to go with each other with the second part. The next thing is to fix it before we attach the lining. Now, to fix it, be cautious of this point here, as a joining, and this joining. Okay, so it's going to go together. And then I've already notched the ½ inch that is going for joining allowance with the lining. I hope you can see it. I've notched it. I've notched the one on this side and the one on this side. So my fixing is not expected to extend at this point. It's expected to stop here. Okay, so let's continue. I will be starting at the down part of it, which is the middle. Okay, remember, the smaller part is the side at the middle, while the major part is the side at the side. So you can see it, the ½ inch that will go up there, and then this side I will do the same work on it as well. That's it. This is already done for this cup. Okay, I'm going to do same thing to the second cup, which is this one. The same way we put this one is the same method we are going to use and put this second one. So you can see the corset. This is it. Then if you want to like put bias, this is the right time for you to put it down here. This is the right time for you to put. Let's do to the second part. Now I've sewed the first side of the lining. As you can see, the second part I'll attach it after. I'm leaving it because of the seam allowance in there. That is what I'm going to use to turn the lining. This is the lining. We're going to turn it first of all from the middle part there. That is where we are going to turn it. So remember, we left out ½ inch there as the sewing allowance, so you sew it off. Next, top stitch it. Then from here, sew it round, and then the other side round. You see it? From here, bring it, and then you start sewing it round. Remember not to sew more than that ½ inch. In fact, it's even advisable you sew lesser than ½ inch, so that it won't affect your sewing. What you have already sewn before, it won't affect it. So while you use ½ inch for the sewing of the main fabric, you can use about ¼ to sew this, and you sew it all through. From where it stops, where you stop, just cross it and you sew it. To the armhole. And remember, we are going to sew our armhole. Since we are not putting sleeve, we are going to sew it down. Since we are not putting sleeve, it's sleeveless, you know. So let's close our armhole. Before we turn it, let's notch it. Okay, let's turn it and see the outcome. This is it at the armhole part, and then the inner part, you can see it. So let's do the same thing to this other part, using the same method that we use in closing that part. So continue. This part is very thick, so you have to be very careful while you are doing it, and also you apply techniques. Very thick. You have to apply techniques and be very careful because of the needle. The same thing at the armhole, we are going to do this side. This is the armhole part. Okay, we have crossed it. So let's turn it and see. So you can now see this is the inner part and then the outer part. You can see it as it is. Now to the down part of it, what we are going to do is we are going to trim the down part ½ inch away from the length. We added 1 inch to the length, so we are going to trim ½ inch away from the length so that it will be shorter. We do this at the back part as well. We don't want our lining to be showing at the front part, to be showing outside. That's why. Still on the front part, I've told you to trim it with ½ inch shorter. Then you turn it this way. We are going to sew it inside. We are sewing with ½ inch. Turn it to see the outcome of what we have done so far. You see it? You see it? We are going to top stitch it. Turn the sewing allowance to go the seam to come toward the lining part and top stitch it. So you can see we are done to stitching it, and this is it. So we are going to close the seam by the side, the edge of the seam by the side. So we'll bring it before that, balance it, make a notch at the down part where you have to sew it, balance it and make a notch. So bring it out from one side. So from where we made our notch here, that's where we start the sewing. Sew it through like this. Do the same thing this other side, but remember, while you are closing it, you are going to leave a little space to turn the whole thing out. If you close it completely then you start cracking your head on where to lose. So I'm sewing this to this, sew it to this point, stop, and then start at the other edge. Sew it down. So this is the space we are going to turn it out from. So we'll remove the whole part out here. And then push the edge out. So you see this? We are almost through with it, the front part. And let's close this. There's also a way that you can sew this inside that there won't be any seam allowance inside it. Everything will just go in between. You join the back part and the front part that is in such a way that the seam allowance will go inside. Okay, but I'm going to show you this so that it will be easier for anybody watching to understand, whether you are a beginner, intermediate, or an advanced tailor. Okay, let's close this bias. Close the zipper allowance and the side. Zipper allowance. This is the zipper side. The zipper allowance. Second one. And then, just as we did to the front part, we are going to close it to a limit, which is this, and continue with it at the other end with the down part. That is it, where we'll turn it from this side as well. Close to the point, and then start the other end and close it to the point. So this is it. We are going to close this part. Okay, we'll close it the other way around, from the beginning down to the end. Okay, so let's go to the table and press both the front and the We are done with the ironing of the front and the back part. So let's join it and continue. We're joining it by the zipper allowance side. This is the side for it. This is a temporary stitch. We are still going to use it to fix the zip. Don't worry about all this wavy stuff. Once it touches the human body, it's going to balance. Okay, it's because of the shape that was altered to it. That is why it's like that. Remember, from the cutting, our sewing allowance was 1.5, so we have sewn about ½ inch away, and what we have left is 1 inch. So this is the 1 inch that I've marked the both side. So you join it to the back part. Down, and then same thing to the other side. Okay, we are through with it. Now to the back part. If the back part is big, you take the excess into the zipper allowance. Okay, you take the excess into the zipper allowance. Like on this, I have about a 1/4 inch you take away from this point. I have about a 1/4 inch you take away, and then it will come out. So now I have a fitting at the back. After losing the previous stitch, I'll press open it. That is where I'm going to fix my zip. I'll press open it to follow the line and fix the zip. Okay, so let me do the press opening.